What's up, y'all? It's Chris here. So for today, um, I wanted to talk about some things that I've noticed since I've been here in Mexico. I've been here for about 2.5 weeks now. Past some challenges, and actually, maybe I'll talk about that in this video. I'm looking at my notebook here. I have quite a few things that I have noted leading up to this point today. Some things before I got here, and some things since I've been here that I wanted to talk about, but I just have not had the opportunity to sit down and record. Partially because of some of the challenges that I've encountered. I will start by saying that all in all, I am happy to be here. I am enjoying being here despite the challenges that I face. I do feel overall, or I'm learning to exist in a more relaxed state versus that which I'm used to back home in the United States. So before I get to the topic that I was going to talk about today, I'm going to tell the story of some of the things that have happened in my time here. So the city, Puerto Vallarta, that's where I am. I booked an Airbnb before I got here, of course. And they show you on the map approximately where the location is. So this place where I am, this is no hate at all to this place, to the host, anything like that. It's just not gonna work. It's not working for me, and has been a part of a lot of the challenges that I've had. But the location is at 27 minutes from the airport. I'm thinking, no, okay, that's great, no big deal, that's close enough. It did look like it was outside, or it is outside. You could tell on the map from the main core city area. But what I did not realize is that this place would be so far out away from anything. I was thinking it would be more maybe a suburb outside of the city, and that was okay with me. Being in a new place, new surroundings, I've been very conscious of not overloading myself or overwhelming myself. So I was like, okay, if it's not right in the middle of everything, that's okay. Which it has turned out to be okay. I don't mind the neighborhood so much. It's just the fact of I am so far away, and I don't have a car. There is a bus station, there's bus stops all in this neighborhood, but I had to figure out how to ride the bus. I know I told that story on my other video about getting on the wrong bus in the wrong direction, or the right bus in the wrong direction. Also, the bus to go downtown to the central area of town is a little over an hour worth of a bus ride. And it's just very long. If it's after work and I want to just chill, it's a lot to take the bus over an hour each way. That's over 2 hours of my day at that point. And also, being in a new area, I don't want to be out late at night. So that it just puts a lot of limitations on what I'm able to do. Also, learning curves, things that I've learned to double check on before booking a place. Biggest one I'd say is the internet speed. Now, hot water is one thing. I understand you may or may not have hot water. I do like to ask, or I've learned to ask, just to kind of see. Also, washer and dryer. I understand that's another thing that you may or may not have, but there are lots of laundromats around. That's just something I try to minimize my stress, because it is kind of a lot for me to have to figure out how to get to places and figure out how the systems work. But back to the point with the internet, this place here, I did not realize it said that it had Wi-Fi and everything, so I'm thinking it'd be fine. But rookie mistake, in the US, typically if a place has Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi and it works. But here, I think maybe because of how far out it is, or maybe just because of the plan, the company that the host has here, the Wi-Fi was not working. I am in a Facebook group of some, I know expat is a buzzword, a trigger word. I'm probably going to say that every video that I mention that word. But it's a black expat group. So I asked for some suggestions, and I was told to ask the host if I can up the speed on the plan. So that's what I did. Come to find out, the speed was 5 megabytes per second. And the fastest speed that was available to me was 12. So I went ahead and went with the 12. I thought maybe it would make a difference. I don't know much about internet speeds, but needless to say, as someone who does teletherapy, does Zoom calls all day, video calls, I have to have fast Wi-Fi. So yeah, the 12 did not really work. It was enough to get me through with my calls stopping for a few seconds, a few times. But needless to say, again, that it's not ideal. It's not ideal for the work I'm doing. And I actually just now booked another Airbnb to stay in for this last week. I had a monthly stay here, but I can't make it. The first week I took off of work getting here so that I could just get situated and adjusted. So it's been last week and this week. Today is Thursday that I'm recording this. So from Monday to Friday last week and Monday to today for this week. I did go to a co-working space earlier this week, and also I went to a co-working space last week. The only one that is close to me is that it's accessible by the bus, so I thought maybe that would work out. Although it's still not ideal because they don't have private rooms. I'm able to sit outside on a terrace. There's not really anybody out there, so I thought I could work it out that way. But their internet also is not quick. Their speeds is pretty much what I've got here in the apartment. So yeah, the only other co-working spaces are all far away, over close to an hour by car, probably over an hour by bus. And again, that's a route I have to figure out how to take on the bus, and it's just honestly it's kind of stressful for me to figure all that out. Mostly too because the language barrier for me. I'm trying with my Spanish, y'all. I really am. I get so frustrated that I can't just have a conversation. I know a lot of words, but making sentences is really hard for me. And also comprehension. If someone's speaking very slow and kind of having context clues, I'm able to pick it up. But typically all the words kind of run together. I might be able to pick out a couple of words, but not enough to always understand fully what someone's telling me. And even if I can put my words together to ask a question, I can't understand the response someone's giving me. So then it gets frustrating. Because also too, people, the assumption of course is if you are able to formulate a sentence or a question to someone in Spanish, that you will hopefully be able to understand them. So people speak, you know, they give it right back, and then I'm like and then they're like and I'm like ugh. So that has been a bit challenging also. But coming back to the challenges of being in this space, it was difficult to find the place. The addresses that they give here are kind of confusing, so that was frustrating. I had a really nice DD driver, fortunately, who didn't leave me. He drove around and talked to the host, calling back and forth to figure out how to find the actual apartment. And then the internet was not working when I first got here. I had to message the host. The host has been great. She got the internet turned on like immediately. But that was scary for a minute because I wasn't able to call anybody. I wasn't able to text anybody over like the Wi-Fi. I don't have cell service out here really either. And obviously I wasn't going to be able to do my work because the Wi-Fi wasn't working. So fortunately I was able to get that situated, but again, it wasn't fast enough. Still not fast enough for me to even like FaceTime or call WhatsApp video calls without it pretty much being frozen the whole time. So that's been hard, trying to stay in touch with my family and friends. Also, I haven't really been able to do much. Like, I was looking forward to connecting with some of the people living here and also meeting some new people. But being so far out, it's not a lot to get an Uber, but it's a lot to get an Uber there and back multiple times in the week. Or without trying to catch the bus halfway there, then get an Uber for the rest of the way. It's just a lot of hoops to jump through to get what I need. Also, there was an issue with the gas. This place has hot water, but the hot water stopped working on me like Saturday. It's Thursday. I wasn't able to light the stove. And I washed my clothes. And I didn't think about this until after the fact, what I'm about to say. But I also went to wash my clothes over the weekend on Sunday. The dryer wasn't working. I hung my clothes on the line. There's a clothesline outside, but it broke twice and my clothes fell on the ground. I dusted them off, whatever, but I had too many clothes to hang all on the line. So some of them kind of started to smell a little bit because they were just wet. I didn't really have anywhere to dry them. So all that being said, I messaged the host. Come to find out, the gas ran out. So she called someone immediately. They were here within like 10 minutes. Changed the gas out. So the stove works now. I haven't washed anything to test out the dryer, but the water is still cold in the shower. And again, I understand where I am. Hot water isn't always a given, but cold water is hard for me. It's very hard for me. I tend to run cold naturally, so cold water on top of a cold body person, I'm like shivering in the shower. I promise y'all I'm not, well, I am dramatic, but not like that when it comes to just using what I've got. It's just my body just has a hard time with the cold water. Granted, I have taken some showers in there because I'm in a hot place. I got a shower, but it's just very hard, and I don't feel as clean as I'd like when I'm not able to stand up under there, or even able to take as many showers as I would like because of how challenging it is to get in underneath that water. So yeah, that's been some of the stuff that's happened. Just difficulty, internet, making it hard to work, hard to get around because I'm far out. I would say I appreciated seeing a different part of the city that's not in the tourist areas, but at this point I'm not really satisfied with the experience I'm having. I want to be able to do more things, meet more people. I feel like I've been here, but I haven't really been here. I've just been sitting in the house a lot and haven't really been able to get the experience. It's kind of, yeah, I've been kind of sad about that. So I got to this point where I'm like, you know what? I don't have to stay. I'm trying to be conscious of my spending and just some things that I have going on right now, things that I am wanting to fund coming up, but I don't want to not be happy with where I am, and to have come all this way and done all of what I did to get here, to not be happy with where I'm staying and not be getting a full experience of the city that I'm in. So yeah, I booked an Airbnb and I will be heading out to a new place in a different part of the city, on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that and hopefully having a better time, being able to get out more, walk around more, go to some more restaurants, meet some more people, and actually get to hang out. So that should be fun. So fast forward to what else I wanted to talk about today. I have noticed, being here for the little time that I have, how much of a consumerist country, and some of the words that came up with my friends were gluttonous, and excess. Yeah, that the United States is. Now, I've been out of the country before. I have been to Mexico twice before. Also briefly was in Qatar and spent a little while in Nepal also. So I'm not unfamiliar with, firsthand how people live in different places. So that wasn't a shock or anything. But actually living, like really living somewhere, going grocery shopping, navigating the city, I'm like, wow, we in the States have a lot of stuff that we don't need. And I knew, as far as mindsets, that it was very materialistic, but you don't always get to what degree until you're outside of it. So some of the things that brought me, or that had me thinking about this, I had 2 check bags, the luggage that I brought with me, 2 check bags, a backpack with my work stuff in it, and then I had a carry-on bag that had some books and things that I needed, just, I like to read, and just books, some stuff for work and things like that. So I put those in the carry-on because they're heavy. But I realized how much I didn't need, and I'm not an excessive packer. I can pack for like a 4-day trip in a book bag. So I went over my stuff multiple times trying to narrow down my things, but some stuff I just didn't know I wasn't gonna need until I got here. So like, for example, with my clothes, a lot of clothes I will be sending back home because I just have no need for it. I've noticed that here it's not a fashion show. And not that I live so much for things to be a fashion show, but I just realized there's no need for me to really have a whole lot. A few pairs of shorts, a few, shirts to wear, and that's really all I need, and some sandals. And that's not to say that people don't dress nicely, but it's not a fashion show. It's nothing over the top. Like, literally, you'll see a few people that have, like their accessories and whatnot, but pretty much everybody just wears tennis shoes, a pair of pants or shorts, and a crop top. That's it. No, I don't see a lot of people with, a whole bunch of jewelry and watches and all this extra stuff. And someone even pointed out to me, I had on a Fitbit, and they're like, oh, that's a really nice, looks like a really expensive watch. To me, I'm thinking like, I didn't buy it, but I know it's old. My sister gave it to me when she got a new one. So to me, I'm like, oh, this old, this old thing. But here, I guess it looks, expensive or whatever. So yeah, there's just not a lot of excessive things, and some things I noticed that maybe made me stand out. So I was like, I thought that was interesting. Also, going to the grocery store. I've gone to Walmart to get some, food and just some household things that I needed, just because that was the most familiar and easiest at the time for me to go to Walmart. So in doing so, I noticed how many options are not available here in comparison to back home. When you go to the store, Target or Walmart in the States, there's just rows and rows and aisles of one type of product. Rows and rows of hair products, rows and rows of cleaning products, and rows of detergents, even rows and rows of food, frozen foods, and vegetarian selections, and all the meats and all this other stuff. Here, no. And I know there's other Walmarts. I can speak for the one that I went to. There was not a whole lot of selections like that. There were not rows and rows of stuff that maybe took up 2 full rows, or 1 full row on each side. In the United States, maybe even 2. Here, it maybe took up like a couple of shelving units. It's very much get in, get what you need, and go on about your business. So just some of the things that I was looking for, I noticed just how much there was not. And very simple things, even trying to find like multivitamins and various types of health stuff, like where you have all the cold medicines and vitamins and all this other stuff. There was just not a lot. So that brought me back to that consumerism and materialism and the gluttonous aspect of things. So that's definitely going to be an adjustment. I was talking to one of my friends, and I mentioned how here you're not going to get that shopper's high, like the retail therapy high, when you walk into Target and you just see all the stuff so nice and shiny. No, this was not it. And on that note, just talking about adjusting, my body, like my spirit is at peace, but it's definitely an adjustment culturally. And more so, I mentioned the language. You don't know how much energy it takes and how difficult it is. Like, I definitely can respect those who move to other countries, not knowing the language, not knowing anything about the language or maybe the cultural customs, because it's very hard. I feel, even though I'm challenged, I feel at least a little bit better that I know some Spanish to not feel 100% just lost and confused all the time. But even going to the grocery store, it makes everyday tasks that much more difficult when you have to translate everything. And fortunately, we have translators now on our phones. But I think about older people or people who moved before all of that was available, who just had to kind of figure it out. But going in the store, trying to find what you need when you can't read the labels is hard. And even with the translator, it's taxing to have to translate everything. You don't know what you're looking for on the label. We're accustomed to things in our language and where the label might say, shampoo, conditioner, revitalizing, nourishing spray, nourishing shampoo, whatever. But that's not so always in other places. You just aren't sure what you're looking at, period. What part is the label, or what part is telling you what the item is, and what part is telling you the description of the contents of the package. It's a lot. So definitely have respect for people who have done that. Also just trying to navigate very simple everyday things when you don't know what you're looking for, when you don't know how to ask questions. Like, for me, it's very easy to navigate in the States because you just ask. If you don't know something, you just ask and somebody can tell you. But here you can always ask. Or for me, here, I can't always ask because I don't always know how. Of course, unless I use my translator, which I don't always think to do. It's very hard. And it takes a lot of courage to learn a language and be wrong. Like to try to to try to use words and put sentences together and potentially be wrong and possibly be laughed at, or just have to accept that you don't know something and try to say it anyway and maybe not get it right. It's frustrating also when you aren't able to convey to others or get across to others what you're trying to ask or what you need. But on that note, I have felt a little bit accomplished over this last week because I have been able to, I went to the mall. I ordered some food. I also ordered some food again yesterday, and just being able to order in Spanish, Also, this is me dumping and unloading a lot that I've had on my mind this week that I just have not gotten to. Because another thing with the internet, I have been able to upload my videos to my Google photo folder to get them on YouTube because of the speed of the internet. I haven't been able to upload them to my laptop, Google Photos, to then open it on my laptop and download it to my editor. It's been a whole thing, y'all. And also, with that, I have not been feeling well. It's been I'm telling y'all, these last few weeks. So I started feeling dizzy. A couple Fridays ago, me and a friend I met here we went to this dinner show. It was an hour-long boat ride there and back. And I was joking with her the next morning that I still felt like I was rocking. I've been rocking ever since. I never stopped. I go to sleep and feel like I'm floating, swirling around in my sleep. I get up in the morning and feel like I'm rocking when I'm awake. So that feeling has just been like a dizziness, somewhat of some pressure in my head. And the fact that it's been there for that long, I was just worried. I'm like, what if I ate something? What if I drank something? What if there's something in the air? I don't know if it's a different air, some quality or something I'm breathing in. I don't know. But I did go to the doctor yesterday, and that's something else that I'm proud of myself for. And a difference that I am recognizing, and a part of why I'm finding comfort in being here, um, I had somewhat of a sense of panic about not feeling well, and I was like, should I go home? I don't want to be here and something happened to me. So should I just go home and try to get looked after to see what's wrong? But the ease in getting medical treatment here brought me a sense of peace. I literally almost cried, y'all, in the doctor's office. Um, so again, I looked at some different Facebook groups to see some doctor recommendations here. Someone may have told me, but I didn't really recognize it, that they do house visits or house calls, whichever one you want to call it. I could literally just text the doctor on WhatsApp and set up an appointment for them to come out here. I was like, wow. My friend did suggest to me that I go in person in case they needed to do blood work, which good call, because that's exactly what happened. I was able to look up the doctor's office, send them a message on WhatsApp. They let me know where to go. Literally just walk in. Don't have to have an appointment. Now, I will say the place that I was wanting to go was closed. That's something else to get used to. A lot of places close early, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So the place I was going to was closed, but I think this was divinely led. There was another place right down the street that was open that had good reviews. It was a female doctor. That was really nice. They spoke English, which was helpful given the circumstances. I was able to walk right in, get seen. She gave me a prescription and an order for some blood work. The hospital for the blood work, the lab was right, like a 5-minute walk. I was able to do all of this, go to the doctor, get medication, get my blood drawn for lab work for less. It was maybe like $60 altogether. And when I was sitting in the doctor's office, she started telling me all of these possibilities of what could be causing me to feel this way. And she told me some things that she noticed, that I could get treatment or follow-up treatment on it, specialists if needed after further testing. But she listed all of these things that had nothing to do with any complaints that I was coming in for, but are things that I've experienced most of my life as far as I can remember. And I was like, oh my God. Because as many times as I've gone to the doctor, I've never really been able to get any solutions to anything or any answers. It's just been, oh, let's do this test, let's do that test. When those tests end up being $1,400 out of pocket. I don't have the funds for that, to get test after test after test and get poked and prodded for no solutions, or something that's going to take months and years to maybe figure out what it is. So even just the ease of being healthy, I think that's a good takeaway for today. It's just richness in health. Richness in health and just self, honestly. Stepping out of materialism, finding a peace, and finding a sense of peace with the necessities, first and foremost. Because I do feel like sometimes in the United States, we are able to access things that aren't a necessity, but the things that we actually need, we can't access. Like food that isn't contaminated, health care that we need to even live. Like, who cares if I have a specialty shampoo if I have a chronic condition that I have to live with every day, that limits the quality or potentially potentially my lifespan. Education, just things that we don't have access to that we should have access to first and foremost, outside of materialism. But yeah, I felt very hopeful, and I'm glad that I took it upon myself to get the care that I needed, and that helped me to feel more confident in my independence. I know I mentioned independence I know I mentioned independence in my last video, but I feel like there's a certain level of freedom that I'm starting to become more familiar with. And mind you, again, it's only been 2.5 weeks, and I'm already feeling more at ease with things. Feeling more hopeful, feeling more full of life, really. Just walking around, the times that I have gone downtown, being able to walk around, see the sights, see the people, and knowing that everything that I need, first and foremost, for my health and my well-being, that I'm able to access, and that I'm not having to live in as much of a state of stress. I don't know if I said it in my last video, but I've had conversations with friends about more of the differences. It's like here, the things that, and I recognize that I have privilege also, so this might not be everybody's experience for people that are, local natives to here. But there's a certain level of ease that comes with not having to worry about certain things. And the stressors here are way different than stressors in the United States. So for example, here a main stress is just figuring out, how do I ride the bus? How do I get to where I need to go? Or where do I need to go for internet connection? Versus, how am I going to pay my bills? Where am I going to live? Am I going to have a place to live in a few months? Or am I going to have to live with various health conditions for the rest of my life and not be able to get the type of treatment that I would like to have? Or questions like, where's the closest ATM so that I can get more currency? So the stressors really are, in comparison, are minor, and I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. I'm blessed to be in this position where I am able to experience a different way of living, and I look forward to seeing what more there is to come from here. At this point already, I'm pretty confident in the fact that I don't really want to go back to the US, unless there's a way that I don't know about. I think I do have to go back if I want to apply for residency to stay here longer. But yeah, I'm already sad about the fact that I have to go back at some point. So whether it's in Mexico or elsewhere, I do plan on having more experiences and spending a greater portion of, I'll say, at least my years to come. Maybe not my life, but at least for the years to come, spending a lot of that time, if not all of it, if not most of it, outside of the States. So I think that'll do it for me today. I had a lot on my mind. Looking forward to getting in a new place in a few days or in a couple days so that I can get back to my routine. I feel like I've been so behind with this internet, not being able to upload things and download things the way I need to and work the way I need to, and just being so far, it's gotten me kind of in a little bit of a funk and a delay. But I look forward to sharing more thoughts with you guys. Guys, guys, gals, and there was something that rhymed that included days too. But whatever, for everybody. I look forward to sharing more of my experiences with you all, and seeing what's to come. So until next time, y'all take it easy, be blessed. I'll see you next time. Peace.